Today, we're talking about fried chicken and why it's better than zucchini. These are the real conversations that we need to be having on the internet. I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. Katseye have been performing this new song, Internet Girl, on their tour in the US. And they recently released it on streaming. I think it was January 2nd. And already people aren't being normal about this song, which is fair. It's a very polarizing sound. I feel like these two songs kind of parallel each other in an interesting way, so we're gonna break that down today. First off, I wanted to talk about how people were receiving the song on the tour, because originally the song wasn't on streaming. So when Katseye went on their Beautiful Chaos tour in the US, they performed Internet Girl, they premiered the song on their tour. And people were like, this is kind of cool. It's giving late 90s, early 2000s, Hannah Montana, Disney Channel kind of vibes. They had this kind of pop punk, kind of rock adjacent sound, and people were eating it up. It still had those brain rot lyrics that we get from Gnarly and I guess MIA to a lesser extent, but people were rocking with it. People were like, this is really cool. This is something that's in the realm of Katseye but still a little different. The general public, they didn't really know a whole lot about the song, but I feel like the general public was still yeah, Katseye's still cool, you know. Granted, after the release of the song, Katseye is still in the cultural zeitgeist. Nobody, you can't go 2 seconds without somebody mentioning Katseye, you know, on the internet. Katseye announced that they're releasing this song as a nice little New Year's present, right? They released the song on January 2nd, and immediately everybody's like, this is horrible. I hate this song. Why was this released? And it's interesting. We're gonna get into the production. So it's a little more stripped back, the production. I don't want to say it's acoustic, because it's not, but it's a little more it's less rocky and more internety, for lack of a better term. People are still talking about this song it's literally the worst thing that could have ever happened to Katseye's discography. And it's interesting because I feel like this is the opposite of the reception that Gnarly got, because when Gnarly was released, everybody was like, what is this? What are you doing? This is a horrible move for their career. And then they saw the performance and they were like, I get it. With Internet Girl, we see the performance first and everyone's like, oh, this is going to be great. And then they listen to the actual song and they're like, ooh, that's not. Mind you, this is just my opinion. The song isn't bad. It's not great. It's not unlistenable like people are saying. I don't think the baby voice is that bad. I think, honestly, it's a scapegoat for people who just don't like the song. And don't want to articulate why, or don't know how to articulate why. They're just oh, well, the baby voice is cringe, which yeah, but they weren't gonna just play a baby voice at the tour version. And that's another thing that was really interesting too, is that people were like, oh, the tour version just sounds so different from the studio version. It's yeah, it's a tour. They're not going to perform the exact studio version live every single time. And this goes for not just Katseye, but any group. For my ults, TXT, they perform rock versions and alternate versions of their songs all the time at tour. And there's plenty of Western groups that do the same thing. There are artists that'll do remixes of their old songs on tour, or different dance breaks and things like that. So I'm not sure why people are oh, well, Internet Girl doesn't sound like the tour version, so it's bad. I don't get that criticism at all. I'm so sorry. But that is criticism that people have for the song. Now, I think that the way that they went about Gnarly was very well done, especially for Katseye being a newly established group. It was pretty important for them to kind of come out the gates swinging, you know? When Gnarly came out, it was a very polarizing song as well, but they were the performance is going to speak for itself. you can watch and see if you still like it. And people came around to it. Me personally, I got gnarly the first time. I tend to listen to a lot of PC music though, a lot of like Charlie XCX, AG Cook, Sophie, like all the heavy hitters, right? So I was aware of what this could sound like, right? But I suppose with Internet Girl, people were expecting it to lean into that more like pop punk kind of sound. So that's why people, or one of the reasons why people are disappointed. And then people are also saying that like Katseye don't have a very unified sound, which I agree with, but I also don't think that it should be like they don't need to figure that out right now. You know, I think they still have a good like year or two into their releases before they really like find their like sound. And even now, I feel like gnarly Internet Girl MIA is really setting them up for like this stable kind of like cat's eye internet like brain rotty kind of sound. Like these songs are like the stepping stones to them doing that sound but more tastefully, you know? So I feel like we shouldn't be rushing cat's eye to like figure out their like sound yet. Again, these girls are like 23 to like 19. Like they are so incredibly young and they have so much time to like figure out their groove. Their team has time to figure out their groove. Like they've already been nominated for a Grammy. I feel like they're only on the way up. Like they're going to be okay, provided like literally like nothing happens, you know, or like no one leaves. I think they're going to be okay. I know that some of the girls too said that they wanted to like write more, get in the studio more, and like make some of their own music. I think that Megan has had a hand in production as well, or tried out production and things like that. And I just think that maybe we should like lay off cat's eye a little bit. Obviously like give them criticism and things like that where it's like warranted, but at the end of the day, like they're going to be okay. And Internet Girl is not like the end of their career or like them not being able to find the sound, you know. Maybe you just don't like the sound and that's okay, you know, like that's your opinion and that's fine. Those were my thoughts on gnarly and cat's eye and Internet Girl and being nicer on the internet. So that's all from me. Bye.